Hi, I'm Tamika Caston-Miller. This is a short restorative sequence to take you from anxiety to bliss. We all know that there are times in which we can feel just so overwhelmed. And the truth is we're living in stress mode, reaction mode, fight or flight mode, a lot, especially right now. So if you like to take that journey from stress to bliss, now's an opportunity for you to do that. All you need is a few blankets. If you have blocks, that's better. If you have pillows, that's awesome. Just get everything that makes you feel cozy. Put on your favorite warm socks and come into the mindset of rest. We'll go ahead and begin now. For this first pose, the recliner over a sofa, you'll need to set up in front of a sofa or chair. You'll need 2 blocks. You'll place the first block on its highest height and the second block on the middle height. Then you'll take a pillow or a bolster and place it over both blocks so that they are going to be comfortable under your body. I also like to get another blanket to place underneath my head and neck. So I'll fold this blanket over in half, and then I'll place that onto the bolster, allowing for a bit of it to support my shoulders and a bit of it to support my neck. The little folds will actually end up being inside of the back of my neck whenever I lie down. I'll go ahead and take a couple of pillows just in case I want a little more support underneath my arms when I'm set up in this pose. Currently, I'm a little close to the sofa. You may want to be a bit farther away, but what I want is for my thighs to be supported. Also, you may want to get a yoga strap or belt to further support your legs so that your knees and your hips are in the same plane. And this will help create a more supported and comfortable pose. Just cozy up into your little nook that you have created. Legs go up the sofa and the back goes to the reclined angle that you've created underneath you. Bring the yoga strap around both shins, belting yourself in right at the space underneath your knees. And don't forget to make any adjustments to your head and neck support, turning the flaps of the blanket into the little nook that has been created under your neck. I like to turn in both sides of the blanket so that I have even more support. I'm far less likely to feel the blocks underneath me when I'm this supported. Rest here in this pose for at least 5 minutes, but if you can get away with it, take 15. Take an opportunity to really notice the support underneath you, to not go away completely. The objective of restorative yoga isn't for you to fall asleep, even though it does happen sometimes. The objective is for you to be conscious and aware of the rest and the support that you're giving yourself so that you're more likely to rest and accept support off of the mat as well. And if nothing else, is just to step away from the busyness of our day-to-day activities and to take some time for ourselves. To come out of the pose, you'll first come out of the strap, stepping out of the strap with as much ease as possible. Resist the urge to jerk your head up as you come out of it. Rest again, and then bring one foot to the side of your sofa and then the other. You don't have to bring it right to the corner, just wherever you find ease. And you'll roll over to one side and take a moment here just to adjust to being out of the pose. And when you're ready, you'll come back up to upright. Next, we'll set up for reclined twist. For reclined twist, we're simply going to use the same setup, but instead we'll bring one hip to the prop stack. Now, I've decided to stay in my little nook here. You can always move away from the sofa. But what I've found is that I really like for my feet to rest onto a wall or a sofa. It just makes me feel a bit more grounded. You'll want to bring the entirety of your chest toward the prop stack, and then your torso is on its side so that you're in a twist. Support your whole side, torso, head, and neck in this pose. Let go of any natural holding or grabbing onto the blocks and let your hands just rest here in this pose. You'll stay here for 5 minutes. To come out, you'll bring awareness to your hands and really let your hands connect to the ground. Take your time switching sides and let your head still remain heavy as you're going from one side to the other. It's important that you give yourself the same amount of comfort on one side as you gave yourself on the other. So take your time to switch sides so that you are still cultivating ease. I like to bring my hands between the blocks. That gives me a bit more of a little comfy nook feeling. If you're ever in a pose that doesn't exactly resonate with your body, double check with the props that you have underneath and take a moment to give yourself that little bit of ease that you're going for. It might mean adding another one of your toys like a blanket or a pillow. Something as tiny as a pillow under the elbow could make a huge difference. Bring awareness to your hands to release. Press into your hands and come up to all fours. Remember to let your head be heavy so that you're not jerking your head up. Feel free to shift your weight back to your heels. Next, we'll move into supported child's pose. To get into this pose, you want to come really close to the prop stack, almost as though you're going to sit onto it. And actually, you could if you wanted to. I like to bring an additional blanket here in which I'm going to roll it. I want this blanket to come into my navel center so that I feel a bit more supported. In supported child's pose, everyone's child's pose is going to be different. If you have more soft compression between your thighs and your calves, then your bum might be a little higher than someone else's. The goal for this pose, if there is one, is that your bum is at the same height as your head or lower. So I like to leave the prop stack on an incline so that that can happen. Also feel free to bring in a blanket underneath your shins and knees if you choose, and make any adjustments that you want to make. This is your practice, so you want to come into 100% comfort. There's no reason ever to approximate comfort. And switch to the side of your head. Depending on how long you're here, if you're staying here for 5 minutes, go ahead and switch halfway through. Bring awareness to your hands to come out of the pose. Press into the mat and again allow for your head to be heavy as you take a moment easing out of the pose. Take this opportunity now to move your things out of the way so that you can set up for your final pose. Our final pose is Adwasana or Prone Shavasana. You'll need 2 blocks that you'll bring end to end so that they create the widest support. And then your bolster as well. There are 3 heights to blocks at any given time. You want them on their lowest height. And the bolster plus the blocks are creating an inverted T. Get another blanket and place it over your prop stack to where it covers both the bolster and the blocks, and turn in any fringe inward. Take another blanket and again rolling fringe side inward. This blanket is going to support your ankles. Notice that I'm setting up my props at the top of the mat and then setting up for ankle support at the bottom of the mat. You want the bolster to reach the top of your mat so that you have space. Finally, you'll take one more blanket, and this blanket is simply to give you an eye covering, which is kind of hard to do when you're belly down or face down. Always support your hips with the blocks so that you have blocks to bone, and let the bolster support your head, torso, and chest. Soft tissue to soft things, blocks to bones. Then you can bring the blanket over your head, hooding it so that you can still breathe, but that your eyes are covered, creating the darkness to fully enjoy this Shavasana. Stay here until you forget that you're here. I recommend at least 15 minutes in Shavasana, but if you don't have 15 minutes, 5 will do. When you choose to end your Shavasana, come up with ease, taking time to bring awareness to your hands, bring your hands to the mat, press back, take a moment to sit on your heels, and just be in the residue of the practice. I hope that you have enjoyed the very quick journey from having all of the things in your mind to having nothing in your mind. Let me know how this sequence felt for you. And if you're having anything in particular that you have going on, I'd love to know more about how I may support you in your yoga journey. It is always my goal to leave you better than I found you. I hope that happened for you today. Jai Bhagwan.